average win time than DFM. They got side selection, I'm assuming, and chose blue as a result. They get first pick for atrox, for impact here. Looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, and the reason that Loud is the top seed is because they had the fastest average win time of the 3 groups that are tied, for those of you that are wondering. And some very notable differences already in this pick and ban phase. There was the post-game interview that Vulcan gave after the loss they had to DFM today, where he said, yeah, actually, we greeted and didn't think they would play Yuumi because they hadn't played it in the past. Yuumi then had a huge influence over that game, so right off the bat, bam, they bammed the Yuumi. Also, Vulcan mentioned Impact had a really good game on the Aatrox, but they couldn't support him in carrying it, and that's what they lock in right away. I wouldn't be too surprised if the third pick from DFM is the Gnar, once again, because Evie had such a strong carry performance in team fights with it, and it would probably be banned by EG on the 4-5 if not taken right now.
But what about playing Teemo?
Well,
all right, what if you just pull an ADD?
The other thing is, Sett support is a very aggressive bot lane pick. Kaisa Sett, super strong level 1 and level 2 against Aphelios Thresh. Once EG locks in the support, there's a huge amount of pressure to try and match that role so you don't get things banned out straight off the bat. But that bottom lane is actually going to be decided pretty early. Kaisa Sett's going to have to all in a lot.
Harp has an all-time 6-4 record on Sett, his 4th most played champion in competitive, so actually a lot of comfort for him as they fight to get an easier road through to the group stage here at the World Championship. We move on to the second round of bans, seeing that EG have not locked in a jungler yet. Lee Sin going to be banned out as well. A further fun stat for EG based on all of 5 games at Worlds. They're only undefeated in blue. They are undefeated with a gold lead at 15 minutes. So if they can get ahead, they've closed that every time. Now we're measuring the exact same 3 games.
Sure.
But it at least has been true.
Yeah, that's actually very similar to EG in the summer split of LCS, even though they had Danny for the vast majority of the year. Remember, they are playing with Kaori, who they only played with in the finals weekend, actually, and then all the way to Worlds, so still definitely trying to gel together. But EG was actually never a dominant early game team, even when they went 15-3, but they had historically the best difference between 15 minutes and the end of the game compared to how average their early game was of any team in NA history. I know I kind of butchered that stat because it's hard to explain.
They're very good mid to late game. They've not been good early.
That's it.
Yep.
To historic levels.
Indeed. And we'll see if they can make this one happen here as well. Obviously trying to get revenge on DFM, who had beaten them recently. This could have been the EG Fnatic tiebreaker first if EG had beat DFM earlier today, but instead we find them in the battle to fight for second, third, and fourth. The Gnar that you mentioned is going to be up, as instead the bans went toward the mid lane. And that is what EG wanted to get rid of, was options away from Yaharong.
Yeah, that's a bold choice, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out for him. Just giving him Gnar once again. No Yuumi to empower him, and also somehow Akali is here. So that's also a bold choice. Silas banned right away, but Akali for Jojo is also incredible, even if they are blind picking it here.
They think it's good. I think it's good. Obviously, jungle would be available. And obviously, it's blue team. They have to go on both no matter what and decide, yeah, Akali, we don't think you got the answers. Obviously, the Ahri ban, the LeBlanc ban, I think getting rid of things, that would be good there. Skarner, of course, could be an option. I believe we have seen him play it earlier. Not this split, though, to be fair. I think that was the Danish jungler on Team Liquid, Santorin, who had played it earlier on. But Trundle, the hover now, I think reasonable against as many walking beefy champions. Actually can do quite well into Gnar. Gnar often needs to hop, get away from Aatrox ganks, and then you just kill her afterwards. That's flash down, so decent interactions there. You can slow up HEcarim. You can kind of just keep Sett from doing anything. There's some decent interactions and enough good ult targets. Yeah, I think it's specifically best against Sett. Sett's engage is often flying into the enemy team. You then pillar the rest of them, ult the Sett, oftentimes taking an aftershock, or even if he doesn't, he's just even more squishy and then you blow him up. But you can see right now, DFM heavily a dive comp. Sett, HEcarim, Gnar, and Vex can all proc a plasma stack for Kaisa to fly in for an assassination. So Vulcan is going to have his hands full trying to keep Kaori's Aphelios alive, and I think that's going to be the general theme of this game. DFM trying to kill Aphelios and seeing if it works. Now, Vex the counterpick to Akali. Of course, course, naturally good against dashes, try to the passive, get the fear, interrupt him mid-ult, things like that. Definitely favored, especially in the early game, if Jojopyun can stay alive. Akali does scale incredibly well, but we should expect Yaharong to have some priority here in this lane. Should be favored if all plays out well. And maybe part of why they let Akali up, he's like, you didn't get rid of Vex. So every team wants to win now and then win in 1 hour's time against Loud to secure the second spot in Group A. It is a pretty crucial set of games here for both EG and DFM.
Yeah, very high pressure. Play-ins, a very punishing, difficult qualification stage to group stage. And if nothing happens in the early game, I have a bit of a rant.
Great.
Just a small rant on the way some fans perceive major regions versus non-major regions in play-ins, because historically it is very close, and actually to me, EG losing the group stage to DFM or even losing this game would not be a shock. So literally last year, DFM won their play-in Group B over Cloud9 3-1. They lost the group stage game to them, but won the tiebreaker against them.
Yeah.
Cloud9 then went on to still qualify and actually make it to quarterfinals, despite what happened in play-in.
So DFM beat a quarterfinal team in play-ins.
But as Yaharong thinks about going for this buff, they just get a word on Raptors. It's not like 2021 was an outlier of major regions having slip-ups or struggles in play-in. 2020, Mad Lions, a European major region, went 1-3 in groups, and then got eliminated. But here's Sett.
But he's already
But here's Inspired.
They know
It's
about the plan. I can't believe it. Was this research or what? Because he's got Pillar and Harp doesn't have Flash. They gotta have this kill, and it's first blood already for EG. Absolutely mind reading by EG in the level 1.
All right, I'm pausing my story to talk about this because this is knowing the matchup, and it is a little bit of a bluff. But so either way, this is good for EG's bottom lane, because if Sett, Kaisa do not all in at level 1, they are stuck under their turret until at least level 3. That's just how the matchup goes. Thresh is ranged, Aphelios has more range than Kaisa's, they push the wave, they harass them out. So what Sett does is he E's level 1, and if he can flash stun, they can actually kill you at level 1. So they wait in the bush, EG pretends they're not reading it, but Inspired is there the whole time. But it is fairly predictable just based on knowing the matchup. So I love that play by EG to pull that off and get first blood.
All right, well, sad is, though, Inspired is down a jungle camp, Jatt, and Steel going through a ward. Kaori.
Have they skilled Lantern? Do they
I don't
need to?
think so.
That's fine.
I think it's QE. No, it is. Actually, it is WE. So yeah, Vulcan does have Lantern. Thank you, Observer. I'm not logged into the game, so I couldn't check, but Jatt is. I could have just cheated over on his side. But yeah, WE start for Vulcan, so hook at 3 will be his option. So yeah, it was always safe. Of course, Flash is also up for both. Heavy pushed back, lands Q2. Nice by impact. No way to get Q3, so walks back.
Yeah, EG bot lane didn't even need to burn Flash to get that kill, so they are really going to be set up for dominance in that bottom lane. Also, Inspired didn't get counter jungled either, so really just an incredible start for him. Now pokes out top lane. Heavy should be able to escape.
He is hugging the wall. Pillar is on, hops over it, and then Flash at the end of the same. But that is still Flash down. There's health bar down. There's Evie taking a pretty early recall. And Impact is like chilling with the wave that he's going to farm, no problem. This is going to force TP out of Evie.
Wow, Inspired domination at the start of this game for sure. Amazing read on the bottom lane play, and then still getting the Summoner Spell top lane. Back to World's history. Yeah, 2020. Mad Lions goes 1-3, then loses the best of 5 to Supermassive from Turkey. Then also LGD, even though they eventually made it through to the group stage, was 1-3 in their play-in group, losing to PSG Talon, Unicorns 11, and Rainbow 7. So 2 major regions had significant losses in the play-in groups in 2020. In 2019, even, Splice got pushed to 5 games against UOL. They lose 1 of those games. They are not out of play-in whatsoever. They also advanced all the way to the quarterfinals. 2018, Cloud9 has to go to 5 games against Gambit in play-in. That team made all the way to the semifinals. So, like, the point here is actually every year, play-in is always incredibly tight.
Yeah.
And it is by the skin of teeth that teams make it through. So I personally hate the memeing that happens as soon as there's the chance of a, quote, misstep by a major region, when it happens literally every year, because non-major regions are actually good. And people are not willing to admit that. So this is a competitive matchup. The next game will be a competitive matchup. And to me, the conversation should be about the winners.
I agree. I think well put, and I'm glad we got the rant out there, Jatt. Thank you very much. I'm sad Twitch clips are. Oh, good! Bye! Speaking of winners, Jojopyun solo kills mid lane in a counter matchup.
And also, JoJo's Akali's really good.
Yeah.
So they probably should have banned it. And EG is trying to pop off right now.
All right, triple stun comes
Big
in.
stun.
Phreak are going to be grabbed. TV coming down as well. Trying to burn down the AD carry. Heala's on cooldown for 5 more seconds. Autos come into the fifth second plasma. Can't go through. But can they get the rest? The cleanse comes out from the fear. Kaori, one hit from dead. Ulti's going to land. And he's going to reset it, but he can't go into the tower here. It's a 1-for-1. Both AD carries dead.
Both AD carries dead. Minions dropped for both. Yaharong, very nice teleport right there. The natural recall put him in position to be able to teleport back to that wave. Not quite accounted for, I think, for EG. That felt like the slowest turret dive in history as well, partially thanks to the triple stun by Harp's Sett. And Jojo's got to watch out.
Turns invisible a little. He can't be auto-attacked, but of course doesn't want to get pushed back in any farther, so takes the shuriken flip backwards. Ward is killed. Yaharong gets back to mid, not upping too much. Yutapon quickly sidesteps into mid to grab the melee part of the wave, and then will collect the resetting bot wave. As Impact, of course, with a lot of pressure in the top side. Cannon is healthy enough for Evie to get it. Level 6 for both top laners soon.
Yeah, so Jojo, level 5, gets a little bit of poke. He knows he's going to hit level 6, pops the energy up by pressing his W, and just honestly...
3-6, yeah.
Yeah, actually kills him 3-6. I didn't even realize he didn't use ultimate, and gets the flash. So Jojo going to be in total control of that lane.
Ooh, they get... Okay, so he gets stunned before there's aggro, or like as the player gets aggro?
Okay, so EG didn't take aggro right away, otherwise that dive would have been tragic. So Harp, great to get the triple stun, but actually too early on the triple stun, because that prevented them from heating up the turret, and the teleport does eventually come in to kill Kaori.
And of course, can't go any farther, but that would have been a little bit dangerous if they were any farther up the lane. A chance to go for a reset and push in a bit farther. Fear comes in. You can see the amount of damage you can deal there. And if this is really tight, you can even fear like Akali out of E2, which is a lot of her damage, right? Her damage is really pushed into the Q, the passive, but also the E as well. And if you can cut that one down, especially as it gets ranked up, you can prevent a lot of damage here. Inspired slinks into the bottom side. Does Harp go for the play? His actual flash is up. They know Kaori has no summoners. They know he can't get away. Oh, Impact! Another solo kill. It's solo lane diff right now for EG, and he has to ult away, but the fear almost landing from Steel, forcing the flash out of Jojopyun. The jungler is around, but not getting enough done. Inspired ganks have landed. These ones have only burned summoners from Steel.
Yeah, Ghost and ult by Steel there. Gonna really diminish his power for the next gank, and Impact stepping up with the pressure on. Same matchup he played in the previous game today against DFM with the solo kills. So now both Impact and Jojo have pulled off solo kills within the first 8 minutes against DFM.
Watch that one again. So half HP mini Gnar, not a rage bar really available, so we know it's mini only. And is it just like landing a good Q1?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, for the Q1.
Yeah.
And then the ult move speed gets Q2.
I mean, really clean. Evie had some incredible sidesteps in the last game, so I think he's just been playing with so much confidence. But ultimately, like, the win there is so small for Evie. He just needs to wait for the wave to crash. It was going to happen naturally, and Impact does a good job punishing.
Flash is up now, but it might have still been down from the prior gank as we're only 8:40 into the game. I think, yeah, I don't think he had the ability to actually get away from it at the time. Everything else was landed from Impact here, so well done by the EG top laner. As Evie going to be back up pretty soon. And Gnar indeed going to be able to be very safe in that one, but we do have the Herald being started here. Inspired is on it. Jojopyun. Oh, looking for a dive. I mean, he's going to be Gnar soon. And though Evie does have flash, I think Impact's like, yeah, we'll take the trade because Akali is on the way, and Evie's like, I can crunch. He can try to flash, but the damage might be too high. When does he go for it? Yeah, flashes away, and JoJo's want to sit under the tower.
Cloud Drake for Rift Herald trade is also the other thing that was happening on the map. This is much more traditional NA EG. They actually really didn't care about the first few Drakes of the game, almost always went for the Rift Herald, then would feed the Rift Herald gold, generally to Danny. So we'll see if they do that to Kaori or if they do that to Impact or Jojo. That's been the weird tweak with EG's playstyle since Danny's started underperforming and eventually Kaori came in, is Impact and Jojo started getting a lot more of the gold devotion. But I think they were at their best when the AD carry position got the majority of their resources, and that, I think, is what they're going to be doing today.
I think so. And we're on to this one as we look for the next play. Vulcan go for the hook, and the sidestep is correct. He predicted Harp to juke down. Harp called the bluff, just walked left, the standard juke path, basically, and, you know, wins rocket resources there. 1,400 gold lead down a Drake, but 300 gold more to be earned via the Herald summon. Top lane is down, I believe, 2 plates, so top is an easy place to go. Bot lane is down 1. We need a lot more work until that kills the entire tower. Wouldn't mind atrox getting a bunch of gold. We'll see, though, as Inspire gets rid of some wards in the bottom river and looks around to see, is there a dive? Is Steel going for us? Kaori playing pretty far up, playing in lantern range for Vulcan.
I'm not sure if Steel poked his head out the other side of that ward recently, because they're playing with a pretty high level of certainty that the HEcarim is there. And yeah, they are just trying to feed Aphelios.
Now they're going to share that gold, though. I mean, Inspired always gets a share of Herald plates, so it doesn't really matter. Trundle going to be on that one. But Kaori does get 160, it looked like, from the charge, as 4 plates down to the bottom lane.
Yeah, Jojo spent a lot of time moving around, actually, so you'd think the guy that gets the 1v1 level 5 solo kill that burns the opponent's flash would be up in CS, but he's actually down 20. So part of that is Yaharong has done a very good job keeping his farm up despite being in threat of Jojo killing him, but Jojo's also just left twice. He had that huge roam up top lane to get Evi's flash, and he had that roam bot lane to kind of soft secure Kaori this turret. And this is Aphelios' go time, 1,400 gold lead over Yutapon's Kaisa.
Yeah, 610 is a beautiful number for every AD carry to see. It means you got a plate and first turret gold solo. Ah, it's beautiful. And you just saw Vulcan playing in lantern range the whole time. If there's a weird play, we're in there for it. But the Sett had already recalled out, and he knows that he can play for the rest of it. So Gale Force is in.
Oh, wow.
Plus more. I mean, Kaori is very big.
Oh, and this is huge, too. 3 plates left on the top lane, immediately sending out that lane. Impact's likely going to take this recall, run out bot lane. And actually, if you look at the minimap, Jojo is looking for an assassination, but he's getting marked by Yaharong. So a little bit of a dicey situation.
No boots on the Kaisa. Going to be jumped on. A bit of damage put across. And yeah, well, I mean, Jojo is like nearly in lethal range.
Thinking about killing him.
Weirdly, yeah, I mean, Yaharong would kill him. But playing the top side now, Kaori, out of almost all his summoners. He has a flash. He burns it. A bit of a flay. And here comes the fear of the tower. Going to land. And Steel's going to kill him. But a flash pillar into the flay puts him back. A 1-for-1. But that is no gold to Aphelios.
Yeah, that is a huge move by Steel, knowing that the Aphelios Thresh are going to try and use this Gale Force power spike to ram that top turret down. They get the brief numbers advantage and shut him down, essentially. Even though they didn't get the bounty, this is a massive amount of gold denied, because I think left in isolation, they get that.
Oh, wow, they took the fight.
Yeah, I think...
That's so greedy.
Mega greedy. Possibly because Kaisa was still bottom lane. EG thought Harp or the group wasn't going to be up there. And despite having Gale Force Flash, they get the kill anyway. That is a massive step back in terms of Aphelios' acceleration in this game, and a huge play by DFM.
I would say that is always the hardest part of swapping to like top lane as the AD carry. Is so often it's like we have negative wards over here, right? Like we have just better support here. Like maybe we have mid prio, I don't know, but like I actually can't believe they chose that play without any vision.
I think you got to go slow.
Yeah, it backfires, but now we got to fight in the opposing jungle now as well. Steel, can you pillar that? Not quite. There he hits it. And now Steel has no good way out. Ulti gonna be gone for a while. Aphelios gets the attacks, and Aphelios gets the kill. A red hand off for good measure. And EG now with the numbers make the play topside. Impact was even there. And though they're sacrificing priority for bot, no one's pushing that one in. So this is now Evie, who's gonna be safe under tower, but so much gold earned from that dive.
Yeah, wanting to reset on the map, but that was the EG gold funnel back at it again. You notice everyone just stopped hitting to allow Kaori's Aphelios to get that kill. Up to 6,000 gold, 800 gold richer than pretty much anyone else in the game.
Yeah. What's interesting actually is coming into the day, Kaori is the number 5 player at play-ins for CS per minute. He's actually been able to farm. He's actually like, he's at 9.9 across a bunch of games, where he was, to be fair, they were 3-1 coming into the day, so okay, he's probably got a winning record and had a lot of control, but he has at least been able to acquire farm. To your point about them funneling gold, I think I agree. Like, it's been more the impact show than it was in the regular season and during playoffs for most of it as well, but he has at least gotten his farm up and finding, oh geez, comfort on Aphelios, but Yaharong,
that's huge,
gets the assassination. Steel wants a bit more. Vulcan does not get ulted upon. No Ghost to get the rest of the way into range. I don't think you can dive this one with the shield. I think it's going to be okay. Indeed, no play.
Very critical that DFM keep finding angles onto Kaori. They have basically their entire composition devoted to that. If they can keep his flash and cleanse close to cooldown, and if he keeps not necessarily playing around the right lantern range for Vulcan, that's going to continue to be a possibility. Remember, Evil Genius's Academy was where Kaori spent most of his summer split. So this is vastly a higher amount of pressure than he has been experiencing for most of the year. And I think these last two moves after getting such a great early game have been a setback that keeps DFM in the game.
And as we move on to this one, second Drake of the game has spawned. EG, of course, have already used up their Herald claim. DFM cross-mapped it for the Drake. And now we can see the second one under fire relatively soon. We saw Inspired look for a second, dropped it away. As Kaori shoves in the mid lane, they maybe have the space for it. I mean, Vex is playing so far back on her lane right now. We know it, but the vision's not there for it. The EG have complete control of this dragon.
Yeah, no Mythic on Kaisa still, so unless they get another huge pick onto Kaori where they can burst him out, there's just no contesting this one. Really just need to watch if EG plays this clean. I think they have the tools to be able to win this game. The mid prio should be fairly easy to accomplish with Aphelios Thresh in their current power level. They just need to play properly in lantern range, and they can get it done.
You're gonna get it. Jojopyun grips himself the Drake. I know Baron gives local XP as well as global. I don't know if Drakes have a lot of local XP. They might have been trying to funnel Jojopyun that one as the second Herald is up. The fight might be coming in soon. It's gonna be Inspired.
No lantern,
up. Impact wants to be in. What's the front line looking like here? First W misses for Yutapon. There's the dunk in the
Huge
first line.
by Harp.
Gets a lot done. The punch comes across, a flash away, and it's Yutapon chasing him, and a lantern gets him out. Vulcan somehow claims the kill credit, but this team fight's looking beautiful for Evil Genius's 2-0. Big ult for Evie. Hook's not gonna land, and Kaori's in a weird spot, but from the back, Impact knocks him down. EG are up 9-3, and they're about to send DFM to the 4th seed.
What a crazy fight. You could really see DFM one at a time taking their shot at Kaori's Aphelios and just duck, juke, and dive. I don't think I have those three correct, but that's essentially what he did. Lantern coming back off cooldown for Vulcan towards the end of that to secure it, and DFM actually burned everything and still didn't take him down and lose the fight 3-0.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Well done here by Kaori as he starts the poke, and yeah, they know Lantern's down. It's like, all right, buddy, you got no flash, I think.
That's why you're the play-by-play. I actually like the angle that Harp finds here. Inspired can't give this angle in the future. It's really important for the front line not to have a straight line between themselves and the carry, otherwise Sett can ult into him. But Kaori did have Flash Gale Force, so he's able to avoid the fight overall. The amount of mobility that Aphelios had in that fight is pretty absurd when you think about it. Misses the Q on Yutapon, but still really difficult to bounce close enough to kill the Kaisa and buy time, but not get in range of the turret.
Yeah.
And gets it done. It's huge, though, that Yutapon doesn't have Mythic there. He went for the Serrated Dirk for laning power, but it delays his Mythic and doesn't have the damage to win the fight.
Yeah, it's weird. It like delays your Mythic, but it also lets you get the Q evolve. Because you're like waiting.
Which he used on the minions.
Right. Yeah, and could have done more damage theoretically, but like, oh, it's so rough. And like, yeah, it is what it is. He is now here with Kraken Slayer. This is more of the frontline fighting version. I mean, you're going through a Trundle and a Thresh, I get it. I have to imagine it's Lantern Max for Vulcan. Those Lanterns will come out so quickly that I imagine it's W Max for him.
You were correct, sir.
So yeah,
11.4 second cooldown currently.
Definitely solid stuff there. So expect that he's going to be playing as a defensive option. Is the reason his AD carry live now. Jojopyun, ult E, gets a lot of distance, goes back in for more. Voice of Fear buys a bit of time because now Impact has arrived. Knockup's going to land. They can't quite kill Steel. And Evie now back to Gnar, but Inspired with the pillar. He can't dive that tower yet.
Yeah, definitely trying to send in a lot of backup. That's an overall good play for DFM because they get mid pressure. Kaori and Vulcan were thinking about moving up, but that's a pick.
Big hook, and it's a flashless Sett with no more escape tools. When does Pillar Crop is the question, because that would lock him down. The auto's going to be good enough as well. There it is.
Oh, they got atrox.
He can walk around. Wow, a pick off onto Impact. Definitely impressive. His flash is up, too, so whatever it was, well done. Well done by DFM. It's a 1-for-1, but a better kill, to be honest.
Yeah, and it looked like Jojo also burned his teleport trying to find Yutapon's Kaisa. Couldn't quite get it. This Rift Herald, though, will likely be another turret fed over to the Aphelios. Yes, sir.
Yep, 4-3-4 onto Collector's second item. That is going to be more of a like short-term power spike, but long-term going to suck a little bit up against someone like an armor stacking Gnar or HEcarim. But if you're going for power now to push your lead, it's certainly solid. Serrated Dirk is such a good item to rush that might as well complete it at a certain point in time. Just will hurt his late game team fighting. Jojopyun gets rid of the wave in the top side and keeps on going.
I'm a fan of the Collector Aphelios build in general, because you can build your own lethality, so you get really good damage on squishies. But the side lane picks seem to be the name of the game.
Somehow sidesteps the ulti. That's such a big deal for Fear, but he's still inside his shroud. Once again, ult into E to get back, and there's nothing left. Oh, he wants to go in for steal.
Jojo!
Just straight kills him 1v2. Pulled back in and taken down.
Montage play, yes.
Yes.
Gold positive? No.
No.
Because he didn't get assist gold, and the other team did. Still, that's the type of confidence you like to see from Jojo in this moment. He still gets more gold for himself, and in his mind, that is worth it because he will carry the game with gold. So I love that play out of Jojo.
That was fun. 3,000 gold difference remains, though, and we have seen comebacks from this amount before, even just today, even just in this group, I'm pretty sure. EG. Wait now for the next Drake to spawn. They did claim the second Drake. We are moving toward Ocean Soul, and the next one spawns in 20 seconds. Jojopyun will be alive. He will beeline out of base. But if you are instantly fighting for Drake, he's not there in time, and his ulti pretty tight from coming back from cooldown as well.
Yeah, looking at the minimap though, Steel's HEcarim running out the top side of the map. Doesn't look like they'll contest that. Watching this one more time, yeah. I mean, Impact just wants to clear one more wave before recalling. DFM doesn't recall. I think Impact thought they were going to be on a reset, and it's an easy kill. Picked up for Yaharong.
That's when they picked off Harp, and then, yeah, the Akali who had TP'd into mid nearly catches out the Kaisa, but doesn't land any spells in time.
Yeah, top left of your screen, you can see top turret traded for the Drake. I think that is a good macro play by DFM, and Vex is getting really strong. So the interesting thing for me about Vex in teamfights is it's like, feels very all or nothing. You throw your ultimate out, if it lands and you get a big fear, it feels like you kill every squishy. If you miss it, I feel like you're a ward. Like, yeah, it just doesn't seem to have the impact, and that one missed.
Yeah, it did. That's going to be on cooldown. But to be fair, there's nothing to play for a while. Baron is a very unlike situation, so I really don't mind those long cooldown stabs. If it lands, it's great, especially if somehow Vulcan's not there. If it doesn't, Drake's 4.5 minutes, so whatever. I think it's a fine risk to take.
Yeah, because it can, like, win the game.
Yeah, it can. Oh, yeah.
Especially when he has this level of gold this early.
And I think if Yutapon had more money himself, like if he was, 2-0 or something instead of, 0-2.
Right.
And he was, okay, yeah, he goes Collector himself, actually. Then you can at least play back on my ult miss, but like, I'll just fear Jojopyun and peel the Kaisa, and she'll kill him. I'll apply a plasma stack for it. Like, at least there is a fallback because he is in a spot he's supposed to be where he's stopping dashes.
Yeah.
But I agree with your point that the top end is really high.
It is. And you know what I just thought about the Aphelios build? I no longer like it.
Okay.
But we'll get to that in a second because they're going for steal.
Yep. The damage of the steal. Going to be slowed up. Wants to hit the ulti. Has to burn it in the same. Jojo wants to dive. Ults backward to the lantern. And guess what? Impact is going to do a bit more. Ulti's going to land into Yaharong. The shot comes in. It crits for 500 and the shutdown. Revenge in the mid laner. And Harp gets one back. They do kill Jojopyun. But 2 for 1 means a tower dive might just be possible. Tower first. Yutapon comes in to try to save the play, but he doesn't have the damage. 2 items is not enough to kill these frontliners. Evie running for his life, but inspired, but still like it. The ulti is on, but he doesn't like the play just yet. Double kill comes through for Kaori. Still has the summoners. Pillar is in, kites away, and it's a triple kill for the Aphelios right at Baron's doorstep. EG are here to seal the deal.
And Jojo and Impact pop off in that fight. Jojo pulls off the kill early. Impact does 80% of Yaharong's health with the first pick, atrox. The goal lead is 5K, and they're going to be picking up Baron.
That is absolutely massive. The Baron going to be claimed, smite not needed. A Ward of the Wall sees that indeed no one's going to try to hit this, and that is absolutely huge. A 24-minute Baron. It'll overlap with the Drake spawn, and a 6,000 gold lead for the LCS 3rd seed.
This is the type of game they need to lead off with if they're looking to win 2 games and get that 2nd seed. But Vulcan lands the original hook, and then, like, watch this. The teleport's coming in, so Jojo knows he doesn't have long. Lantern already thrown. He planned all this out. He's going to get far enough away from Steel that he can ult back to the Lantern, and then Impact comes back to intercept Yaharong and Evie. Ult over the wall from Kaori, gets the last hit. Just a beautiful fight. No angles for Sett to ult in on. Yes, he does kill Jojo, but it's not like he's landing this Giga Sett ultimate where you're taking a tank into a team. That's what he needs to be able to pull off if he wants to win this fight. They focused the turret. Like, honestly, it felt like everything went right for EG in that one.
And now look a bit more. Jojopyun. Oh, that was really nice. Pulls him back. That was straight up just reflex from Harp. Landing the face breaker, pulling him out of E. That was gorgeous. And it means the kill coming through to the AD carry. 2 items here on the Kaisa. Still needs to scale up for a bit more. Mid lane cleared out. EG Red Bull Baron power play actually now down below the value of Baron itself. Trying to death brush around here is Impact making relatively quick work of the top lane turret. Kaori to here. Kill it much, much faster. Infinity Edge in, now on the way to Lord Dominic's. This is a very rich Aphelios.
Oh yeah, he is giga fed. I will say DFM keeping themselves in this game with side lane picks. That's about 3 that they've successfully been able to pull off. And it also stopped EG from picking up that mid turret. Evie comes in with Mega Gnar, stops it. Now if he can somehow make a great escape.
Hops around.
Yeah,
Raptors cover it.
Well, he's pretty fast.
Yeah, he's actually no one's top left of the map, so he can get out there.
He's too good, and they get the turret in the bot lane.
Okay, money earned. Looks like there's no bounties on the map as far as I can tell, so it's not the extra value, but oh, now it's too much.
Okay, this one's dead.
100% he is dying here. Gets himself a wave, and then we can wave goodbye, Kaori. Godlike now, 7 kills in a row. It was 2, 3, and 4, or some other number of assists, but 2, 3, and something. And now 9 and 3. Yeah,
13,500 gold, Infinity Edge completed, and now the mid turret finally falls. So Baron power play nets out, still below your expected value, but 1,600 gold is not going to be something EG turns down really quick. With the way this composition from DFM is structured, of everyone trying to dive Kaori's Kaisa, I understand going Collector when you're ahead early, but the safer play would definitely be the Bloodthirster, because you have a lot of gold, you're still going to be ahead of the Kaisa, and if you get that Bloodthirster shield, you're going to be harder to burst out. So if he mispositions and falls, keep that in mind. He went for the aggressive play. If he plays on the margins and pentakills everyone, you also have to call that out for the more aggressive play, but it is the riskier variant of the build here.
It is. It's riskier variant. It is, of course, 400 gold cheaper. It does push forward, but as you mentioned, yeah, the safety, certainly a relevant concern here. So far, it's going to be okay for Evil Geniuses. Gold lead nearly 8,000. Baron buff ends. The 4th pick of the game, EG's 3rd, has spawned and is going to be claimed with no contest here as Impact makes his way safe to the top of the map. I believe he poached the Krugs, still gets out. Equal CS between the 2 top laners there as we are on our way towards either a Hullbreaker or a Sterix Gauge, I think an underrated item on Impact's inventory. We'll see. Hullbreaker, I think, probably is what he's going to go for. Midlane turret does fall. Objective bounties are on. The slow one getting pretty solid, but not enough follow-up yet.
Yeah, a lot of objective bounties picked up recently by DFM. They're going to try and get Harp's flash, I would think.
This boy, they go in for the play. They dunk him away. A stopwatch to buy some time. But can Jojopyun live is a question. He's got the Shroud. Evie in the front line just dies. Kaori gets the kill credit, and he knocks down another.
He's real strong.
Get rid of the AD carry. Oath back in. A double kill. The montage play ends with him dead. But the rest of DFM fall. Evil Geniuses will find their 4th win here at the play-in group stage. Scaling throughout the tournament. 11 kills now for Kaori. The Academy call-up, who got to play exactly 1 match with EG before heading to Worlds, and is getting better and better with this team. A 28-minute victory. And soon to follow, a fight with Loud for the 2nd seed.
16,000 gold earned, and EG getting as much stage experience as possible.
Yeah.
One would say, taking down DFM in the rematch with them today. So now, the situation we have, EG wins. They will move on to play Loud in the next game. Loud will have side selection, though, which is very important, knowing EG is now 4-2, with the 4 wins being on blue side and the 2 losses being on red side. They will likely have to win their first red side game against Loud to get the 2nd seed.
And it means they've